I want to be honest with all of you. Nobody in their right mind, especially here in the West, especially in Israel, wants war. Nobody wants war. But sometimes not going to war is how you lose everything. Even after all the threats, it's really been years, but it's especially in the last few months, Iran has been building towards something that has been for sure known to be something that if they would have got a nuclear bomb, it would have been catastrophic. We've known it. The intelligence community has tracked it. The Israeli government, all the internal differences they were all unanimously together on this one point, that Iran is about to get a nuclear weapon. And I know right now that there are many in that the no war, specifically in the conservative, also by the Democrats, but they, to be honest, they have so much blood on their hands in terms of this conflict and probably almost every conflict that's going on, the 50 some odd conflicts that are going on worldwide right now. And I know that sounds like it's a lot to say. But I really want you to think about it. Underneath the Obama administration, underneath the Biden administration, Iran was given the keys, the finances, everything that they needed to let loose. There's no doubt about it. Trump has touted this over and over again. When he left the office, Iran was broke. And we see as a result of what has happened in recent years underneath Democratic leadership in the United States, it has caused this problem. So which brings me back to those of you who are saying, oh, America first, America shouldn't get involved in the world, the Candaces, the Tucker Carlsons of the world. I want you to understand this. And I say this with respect, with the utmost respect for President Trump, who I do believe that if he was in office, a lot of these things wouldn't happen. Not because of him in particular, but because the God that I serve, for whatever reason, has been reserving him, and he has been a tool in the greatest way for God. However, I will say this. I believe with all of my heart that he is of the utmost responsibility, not on the behalf of himself and his own administration, but on the behalf of the country that was underneath the leadership of at least two recent administrations that by and large are the cause for this war. They are the ones who were the enablers to allow Iran to get this weapon. So any talk about whether or not America should get involved, shouldn't get involved, all of that is obsolete. America, because of who you put in the leadership, you caused this. Yet your vote, going to the polls, voting for these evil individuals, yes, I say evil, that allowed for funds to be released into this evil regime, who has been chanting for the very death of America itself. So if you, and I'm just talking to everybody collectively, now I know that everybody wouldn't have made that decision, but this is the government that you put in place. So out of the sheer responsibility of what has taken place, what gives you the right to believe that you shouldn't be involved? First off, you're already involved. The Ayatollahs have been very clear. Israel's the little Satan. You're the big one. You're the big one. So any idea that somehow America gets to escape what's going on, to be honest, in all fairness, Israel's putting out a fire that was caused by American governments. Like I said, I'm excluding President Trump. He definitely has shown his effectiveness and his ability to be a friend to Israel. The Israel government, even with all of its differences, everybody has been unanimous on this point, that Iran is the single greatest existential threat to the Jewish people since Nazi Germany. Nobody's confused about that. This is not hyperbole, that's a fact. And unlike in the 1940s, We're not waiting for it to become obvious only after 6 million lives are lost. We're not waiting on that. Iran is just a rogue state. It's a terror command center, and they don't just build weapons, they actually export the war. I mean, you have to listen to this. Look at Iran. Iran is responsible for funding Hezbollah, as we know, who at one point had 150,000 missiles pointed at Israel. Hamas and Gaza, as you know, all their weaponry, majority of their weaponry, tunnels, rockets, and terror. Islamic Jihad, suicide cells, the Houthis in Yemen, maritime terror, regional destabilization. I mean, what are we talking about here? I'm really trying to understand from you what it is that we're talking about here. I'm trying to figure out where there's no moral clarity here. And I'm not pandering. I'm not asking for America to get involved in a war that's not theirs. I'm saying you started it. I'm saying your government that you put in place started this. All of these people, all of these war machines, all of these terror cells, and all of these terrorist groups that have been sponsored by Iran, all of them have been trained, equipped, and they've been paid for, all by Tehran. And what has the world done? That's the question. What has the world done about it? Israel's doing something about it right now. But what has the world done? At best, they ignore it. At the worst, they enable it. Billions of dollars have flowed into Iran's regime through a naive and corrupt diplomacy, largely by the last administration in America. Irresponsible on every front. Put the whole entire country at a complete security risk. Money that was supposed to go to humanitarian purposes, even from the UN, other organizations, went straight into missile factories and nuclear enrichment. So what was Israel supposed to do? Were they supposed to wait for them to go nuclear? Were they supposed to wait for them to launch another coordinated attack or barrage of rockets on every front, just like they were going to do, like they tried to do on October 7th? They're going to turn it into another Auschwitz over here, God forbid? None of these are options. We live in a world of asymmetrical morality. The world expects for Israel to respond with restraint even as we're being bombarded. They'll say to us, de-escalate, be proportional. Is it proportional? Let diplomacy work. But the question I have for all of you is, what diplomacy? When a regime chants over and over again, death to Israel, death to America, and then they fund every single Jewish-hating militia from Lebanon to Yemen, you can't negotiate with a person. It's not a negotiating partner. That's a predator. You cannot negotiate with such people. So preemptive doesn't mean reckless. It means that we were very, very responsible. That's what it means in this context. When your enemy is loading a gun in your direction and telling you that they're going to use it, don't buy them bluff. Don't call it bluff. You don't wait for the trigger to be pulled. You have to disarm him. You have to disable his ability to kill. And you have to do it before innocent people die. Hey, what's going on? I had to stop you for a second because I want to tell you, if you like what you're hearing and if you're getting value from what you're hearing, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us get this out there. And ultimately, you know what we're trying to do? Spread the name of God all throughout the world. So like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so that anytime I put out a video, you are going to be informed first.